Welcome to Sexy in Your 60s. This is a space for women 50 and beyond who are choosing to live with vitality, intention, and joy in this chapter of life and the ones ahead of us. I'm your host, Dvora Citron, registered nurse, national board certified health and well-being coach, and Plant Strong advocate. This podcast is intentionally a little scrappy. I'm starting before everything is perfect because I really believe our conversation matters more than the polish. This is Season 1, Episode 4, Resilient Movement, Moving for Joy and Longevity. This chapter of life is about building strength, protecting mobility, and having the energy to fully live the life we want. On this podcast, we explore what truly helps women thrive, grounded in evidence-based health practices, shaped by real-life stories, supported by practical strategies, and connected to the deeper sense of meaning that makes life feel rich and full. If this speaks to you, you're in the right place, and I am so glad you're here. When most women think about exercise, especially in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, what often comes up are a lot of shoulds. I should work out more. I should be stronger. I should stretch more. I should be doing what I used to do. And exercise quietly turns into pressure or guilt or comparison, sometimes even fear. None of that motivates lasting change. So today, I want to shift the conversation. I want to talk about movement not as something you owe your body, but as something you give to your body. A way to support yourself, a way to stay connected, a daily investment in your future self. Movement is freedom. Movement is medicine. And at this stage of life, movement becomes foundational to how we age well. I want to share a bit of my own story because it shapes how I think about movement in a very real way. Over the years, I've had multiple surgeries. Back surgery in 2012, left hip replacement in 2014, right hip replacement in 2020, and more recently this past summer in 2025, spinal fusion surgery. Before each surgery, pain slowly narrowed my world. I walked less. I avoided hills and other activities that were meaningful to me. I stopped moving the way I loved. And after surgery, the question wasn't, how fast can I get back to normal? It was, how do I trust my body again? My recovery didn't begin with a long walk. It didn't begin with strength training or Pilates. It began with 10 very slow, very intentional steps across my living room. That was it. Those 10 steps turned into more steps. Then short walks on flat ground, outside my front door in the front courtyard, then longer walks, and eventually I started walking the hilly routes again in my neighborhood. And the first time I walked the reservoir, I almost cried, not because of the distance, but because of the freedom. I wasn't chasing my old body. I was learning to honor a resilient one. And that experience taught me something I now share with every woman that I work with. Movement is not about consistency. Movement is not about intensity. Movement is about consistency. As a nurse and a health coach, I can say this clearly. There is no pill that does what regular movement does. Movement supports bone strength, heart health, blood sugar regulation, cognitive function, mood, sleep, balance, and longevity. But here's what I want women to hear most clearly. Movement after 50 isn't about getting fit, it's about staying functional. It's about being able to get up from the floor, carry groceries with confidence, walk stairs without fear, reduce pain, maintain autonomy and independence, and having the energy to live the life you actually want to live. Movement is one of the most powerful ways we can care for our future selves. Many women pull away from movement in this chapter of life for very understandable reasons. Fear of injury, especially after surgery or chronic pain, comparing themselves to their younger bodies, or getting stuck in an all or nothing thinking. If I can't do a full workout, why bother? But here's the truth. Short, consistent movement adds up far more than occasional intense workouts. Movement is cumulative. 5 minutes counts, 10 minutes counts. Your body responds to what you do regularly, not what you do perfectly. Supportive movement in this chapter is balanced and varied. It includes some form of strength work a few times a week, not necessarily heavy weights, but we know those heavy weights are really important and helpful for us. And also resistance, body weight, or Pilates style strength. It includes movement and flexibility, keeping joints moving, posture supported, and balance intact. It includes regular, moderate cardio, and walking is truly a hero here, especially if you're doing it with somebody else. It includes balance work, even just a few minutes at a time. It includes something we don't talk about enough, movement that feels joyful. Dancing in your kitchen, stretching in the sunlight, slow, breath-led movement. Joyful movement reconnects your body in a way that's deeply regulating and healing. There's also a powerful brain-body connection here. Movement increases dopamine, which supports motivation. It increases serotonin, which supports mood and emotional balance. And it increases BDNF, which supports brain health. And it lowers stress hormones. This is why movement helps you feel more like yourself again, clearer, steadier, and more grounded. One of the most important things I want to say today is this. You don't need to move like anyone else. You don't need to return to an old version of yourself. You're allowed to move like the woman that you are now, today. That might start with a short walk, some gentle yoga, Pilates once a week, 5 minutes of stretching. All those things count. Your body tells you what you need right now if you're willing to listen. And then you move forward gradually. Let's pause for a moment. If you're able to, take a breath, soften your jaw, let your shoulders drop, and ask yourself, how does my body want to move today? Not tomorrow, not next week, not the way you moved years ago, today. That one question asked regularly can completely change your relationship with movement. Before we close, a quick and important reminder. The information shared on this podcast is for educational and inspirational purposes only. It's not intended as medical advice, and it does not replace individualized care. Every woman's health situation is unique. Listening to this podcast does not create a client-provider, coaching, or therapeutic relationship. Please consult your own healthcare provider before making any changes to your activity routine, nutrition, medications, or health routines. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to stay connected. I've created a free resource called the Sexy in Your 60s Starter Guide, and you'll find the link in the show notes for this episode, along with links to my website and other resources I mention here. The Starter Guide is designed to help you take gentle, supportive next steps without overwhelm or perfection. And it's also the best way to stay in the loop about future episodes and conversations. Thank you for spending this time with me. Move gently, move joyfully, move like a woman who knows her worth, and stay boldly, beautifully sexy, exactly as you are.